After a 13-27 season, the Chicago Sky have decided to fire Therese Witherspoon. In the words of Vince McMahon, "You're fired!"
Reese Angel, the self-proclaimed face of women's basketball, goes nuts after total chaos hit Chicago Sky because this Cold Girl was supposed to be a season of hope turned into a train wreck so wild even the most loyal fans couldn't look away. A 13-27 record and broken team chemistry for a city that loves its sports. This wasn't just a loss, it was a gut punch.
There's when other teams say I wish we drafted you.
Really?
Yes. Like teams that have drafted that were above me, that the players that got drafted above, and it was nothing against their rookies that got drafted, but they were like, I wish we were teammates. I wish we drafted you.
Teresa Weatherspoon, WNBA legend, was supposed to be the one to rebuild this broken franchise, the one who would finally give Chicago a reason to believe again. Yet instead of inspiring a turnaround, her leadership lit all the wrong fires, fueling locker room drama and questionable coaching decisions. And then there was Reese. Her on-court antics and off-court bravado left fans torn between rooting for her and shaking their heads and frustration.
Angel Reese, did she just run a coach out of town, and is she running a player out of town? Their best shooter out of town? Because Kennedy Carter looks like she's ready to book it out of Chicago.
Reese brazenly asserted in an interview that in 20 years people would look back at her as one of the reasons women's basketball got more attention. This isn't simply a story of facts and scores, it's about a fan base left in the wreckage of shattered dreams, wondering where it all went so wrong.
Rena Mabry, she's already flown the coop on this team, and it was quote-unquote because of culture. Well, what happened to the culture? Who torched the culture? Who's selfish on the team that would cause the culture to melt down?
Reese's off-court antics didn't help matters. On her podcast, she claimed that several teams who passed on her in the WNBA draft had called to express regret, a statement that was met with widespread skepticism. During a game, her controversial flagrant foul on Caitlin Clark became another lightning rod for criticism. Reese defended the foul as a play on the ball and even insinuated that Clark received special treatment from referees, but video evidence told a different story. Fans on social media were quick to call out her excuses, labeling them embarrassing deflections and pointing to her behavior as a major reason for the team's lack of chemistry.
Tyler Marsh did the press conference. He talked about Angel Reese. He talked about Cardoso, who I think is going to be a star in the WNBA. But he did not really mention Kennedy Carter at all, and that raised a lot of eyebrows.
The Chicago Sky are unraveling faster than their 13-27 record suggests. A team that once promised greatness is now drowning in dysfunction. At the center of the chaos is Angel Reese, whose presence has reportedly turned the locker room into a battlefield. Leadership vanished, culture reduced to ashes, and their best shooter, Kennedy Carter, she's already scouting new teams, scoring 17.5 points per game last season, but now seemingly more interested in Twitter polls than playbooks.
Angel Reese is now quoted as saying, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. She refuses to say Caitlin Clark's name. It's because of Me Too, and I want you to realize that.
One veteran player even commented anonymously that it was obvious who Weatherspoon was trying to please, and it wasn't the team. Young stars like Camila Cardoso struggled to find consistent roles, and their potential was largely overlooked, signaling that Reese's individual stats seemed more important than the team's overall success. The turmoil within the club reaching unprecedented dimensions when the Sky traded Marina M. Mid-season MB, known for her shooting and defensive skills, was sent to the Connecticut Sun under mysterious circumstances. Although M avoided criticizing the Sky directly, her praise for the Sun's professional environment spoke volumes. She emphasized how players in Connecticut could focus solely on basketball, an apparent dig at the chaos she left behind in Chicago.
Chicago Sky franchise has been an absolute dumpster fire since winning the WNBA championship in 2021. Let's go through some of the names that have left. James Wade, who was the coach and GM, left in the middle of the season last year to go to the NBA.
Exit interviews with players painted a dismal image of the seasoned veterans criticized Weatherspoon's leadership, while younger players expressed discontent with the lack of clarity and direction. Essential team principles such as maintaining on-court discipline were often absent by the time the season ended. The fractures within the locker room were impossible to ignore. Now, with Weatherspoon out as head coach, the Sky are left to pick up the pieces of a disastrous season. Whether Angel Reese will remain part of their plans is uncertain for now. Her tenure in Chicago serves as a cautionary tale about what happens when individual ambition overshadows team unity. Instead of a fresh start, the Skies got absolute chaos, with Reese standing front and center in the debris.
And Miss Parker, Emma Messman, Courtney Vandersloot, Allie Quigley, Leah Copper was traded, Azura Stevens. And then this year, after drafting Cardozo and Reese, they were competing for a playoff spot and traded Marina Mabrey, veteran, before the Olympic break.
Carter, the Sky leading scorer and a restricted free agent come January, didn't mince words on social media. She said, "Y'all be coaches and GMS anyhow. Let's see what you think," inviting people to vote where she should play next season. The criticism was immediate, although Carter isn't the only one out. Some fans supported her in criticizing Chicago's corrupt leadership, while others made fun of her for airing dirty laundry like it was a Real Housewives WNBA edition episode. Last season, Marina Ma averaged 15.4 points per game, but she left in the middle of the season, citing cultural concerns. Parker, Candace, after the team won the championship in 2021, their former star left for better opportunities in Las Vegas, and Teresa Weatherspoon left after just one season as head coach, after allegedly losing the locker room by playing for a small group of players. Now, Tyler Marsh is taking the opportunity to clear the air in his most recent press conference. Marsh lauded Aaliyah and mentioned Angel Reese, emphasizing her potential. Boston doppelganger Cardoso is a rising star, but his evasive remarks on Carter Crickets, referring to her as a major catalyst for the team's success the previous season but not committing to her future, weren't quite comforting.
New Sky coach Tyler Marsh was asked about whether he sees Kennedy Carter in the big part of what he's doing in the future during an appearance on the Athletic Women's Basketball Show. Quote, "In regards to Kennedy, she's a great player. She was a huge catalyst to what last year's team was able to do and accomplish, and obviously she's slated to be a free agent."
Reese isn't making things any easier, though her statistics, which average 16.8 points and 10.6 rebounds per game, show that she's a force on the court, and it's difficult to deny her reported involvement in locker room conflict. It's obvious that the Chicago Sky are trapped in freefall, and rumors of favoritism have only made the divisions worse, making teammates wonder if the team is focusing more on talent than unity. Marsh's unwillingness to speak out about Carter's predicament only feeds rumors that the team is prepared to sever ties with its most productive player. However, if Carter is truly a contributing factor, as her past with the team indicates, it's difficult to determine whether the team is rebuilding around talent or simply preparing for another collapse.
The focus thus far has been on players who we know are under contract this coming year, and that's where the communication has been thus far.
The actual kicker, only a year after the Sky made it to the playoffs. All of this drama has occurred, and they are now a prime example of how not to manage a franchise. Even though Reese isn't entirely to blame for the meltdown, her ascent within a broken system isn't helping her win popularity contests. So, where does this mess end? Will Marsh clean up and start over? Will Carter depart, making the Sky even less relevant? Or will this saga continue to amuse fans for all the wrong reasons? One thing is certain, though. Chicago officially, Sky culture, has made its way into the meme space.
Can't help but wonder, is that what happened here? Is Angel Reese and the way she wants to play, and I don't know if you've ever noticed her social media posts, but she's very me, always. Me.
In the WNBA, the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever tell two different stories, one of dysfunction and decline, and the other of unity and resurgence. The Sky, a championship-winning club, has struggled to stay true to itself because of internal strife and bad leadership. The team was already fractured after Teresa Weatherspoon's turbulent tenure as head coach, and even though Angel Reese was talented, his divisive behavior further widened the rifts. The question now is whether the Sky can rebuild their team culture and regain their championship grit, or if they will keep losing ground.
The league sources, Weatherspoon had lost the locker room because of a culture that catered to the needs of a few players. Dear Lord.
Favoritism and poor leadership have undermined the Sky Foundation, fostering an atmosphere that values individual drama over cohesive teamwork. The hiring of Tyler Marsh as head coach offers some hope because he wants to instill discipline and teamwork. However, the question is whether the players, especially Reese, can embrace a team-first mentality. Without unity and accountability, the team runs the risk of alienating their fan base and slipping further behind in a league that demands excellence on and off the court. In sharp contrast, the Indiana Fever have become a shining example of what strong leadership and a clear vision can accomplish after years of mediocrity. The Fever have completely rebuilt their team culture. Head coach Stephanie White, general manager Amber Cox, and president Kelly Kokoff have established an atmosphere based on openness, discipline, and cooperation. Their leadership goes beyond roster choices. They have developed a structure where each player feels respected and empowered.
Obviously, the players here are very experienced and they want to keep a good environment, and they make sure that they kind of like hold people accountable for that.